Hello, I think we are getting started. Hey everybody, Sarah Massey here. If you are on, can you just put a give me a comment, say hello. I'm not sure. This is the first time using Zoom webinar, so I'm not 100% sure if you guys can hear me. If you can, say hi, let me know where you're from. And we will get started here in a minute. Okay, all right, I think we're good. I think I see a bunch of comments coming in. Tracy from New Jersey, Latoya from Atlanta, Betty, Irma, Diane, Dion, Debbie, Janice. Hey, everybody, I'm glad to hear that you guys can hear me. Let's see. Okay, I think you guys can still hear me. All right, it was just telling me that I was muted. Anyway, this is my first time doing a Zoom webinar, so hopefully I won't have any tech problems throughout the night, but just wanted to say hey and welcome to everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Sarah Massey, and I will be your host here tonight. I was also your host all week inside the Mood Board Challenge. For those of you, I feel like I've already gotten to know most of you over the course of the week. There may be a few new people here who I haven't had a chance to get to know inside of the Facebook group, so for those of you, hello and welcome. Thank you all so much for being here. This week, I just want to say this week has been amazing. I have loved seeing everything, all of your mood boards, all of your answers, your brand tone words and your colors and your value proposition statements. Everything you guys have been sharing has been truly amazing. And I hope you all enjoyed the process, doing the work as much as I enjoyed teaching it to you. I feel like a lot of you had a lot of clarity over the week. And hopefully now you have a better vision for your brand and where you want to go, how you want to move forward with it. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. Actually, before I share my screen, I just want to go over a few little things, little bits of housekeeping. This will be recorded, so if you've got to jump off for any reason tonight, that is totally fine. There will be a recording, and you can. It will be emailed tomorrow. Probably tomorrow morning, and there will also be a replay inside of the Facebook group if you want to catch it in there. So I would love for you to stay. There are some special rewards for at the end of tonight's masterclass. So if you're able to stick around, that would be amazing. I think you'll be really happy to see what's at the end of the class. Another thing I wanted to let you know is my husband and my kids are actually out right now. I kicked them out for the night. But they might be coming home in about an hour or so because it's school night and it's bedtime. So hopefully we'll get through everything here in the next hour, but just so you know, if the Q&A at the end goes past 9 o'clock, there's a chance they might show up and it could get a little crazy, but hopefully we will avoid that problem. And also my dog is here. I actually just kicked her out because normally she's sitting right here and I was afraid she was going to like bark at the dog, the neighbor's dog or whatever. So I kicked her out, but hopefully she won't bark outside the door. And if she does, I might just have to pause for a minute and mute you guys here and take care of her. But hopefully we should be good. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And we are going to get started with tonight's topic, which is the 7 core elements of an effective visual brand identity. I'm just gonna, I just want to pull up the chat and I need to pull up the Q&A. Just bear with me for 1 second. Okay. Okay, I think we are good. Okay, sorry about that. So I just wanted to make sure I had the chat pulled up so I can see. There is a Q&A section, I believe, on this webinar but there's also a chat. So if you have questions, post them in the chat, because for some reason when I have this in full screen, I can't see the Q&A. I can only see the chat window. So just FYI, if you have any questions, I would love for you to hold them until the end of the class. But if you have anything, if there's a tech issue or anything you need to tell me about, you can post that in the chat window, and I will be checking over there. So, okay, let's dive into the 7 core elements of an effective visual brand identity and why it's so important that your brand includes these 7 essential elements. Hopefully, many of you are probably here because you've already gone through the mood board challenge and you're wondering what's next. However, there might be some other people in here, and it might be that you are a creative small business owner who struggles with getting your brand and graphics to accurately convey the quality of your work and the message that you want to share. Or maybe you have a website or you don't have a website, and when potential clients ask for your website link, you secretly cringe because you are ashamed of what you have. It's not cohesive and it doesn't truly represent you or your business. Or maybe you have a business and things are going okay, but you find yourself spending hours inside of Canva, like fiddling around with graphics, just trying to create designs for your social media, for your website, and nothing ever quite looks right. It's always kind of mismatched and there's nothing, it doesn't really feel very cohesive. So that could be why you're here. And I get it. So many people come to me because they're confused, stuck, and overwhelmed by all the things that you need to do to create your personal brand. So tonight in this masterclass, I'm going to talk about the 7 core elements of an effective visual brand identity and why you need them, and how when you have them, you will be able to increase your workflow and ultimately spend a lot more time with your friends and your family, because you won't be spending so much time fiddling around inside of Canva trying to create graphics that never quite look right. I'm also going to share with you a little bit about my own personal branding journey, because I really feel like this, my story has really led me to where I am today and why I'm so passionate about helping other entrepreneurs with their branding. And I feel like, I don't want to get like too off topic here, but I feel like for you having a glimpse into my story, you'll be able to better understand how I can help you and why I might be the right person to help you through your branding. So this training is not for you if you already have a wildly successful brand and you've got more money than time. So if that's you, you'll probably just want to hire a designer to do all of your brand strategy and design work for you. And I will say that that is actually something I do as well. So if you wanted to work with me one-on-one for design, I do have a few openings left. So that's something we could definitely talk about after this class is over. This training is not for you if you're afraid to spend some time to actually do the work. I don't think that's you, because you're all here after doing a lot of hard work this week in the Mood Board Challenge, and you've all done so amazing with it that I believe that you can all handle putting in some work to truly create a brand that represents who you are and your business. So this training is also not for you if you make excuses and you always find a reason why something won't work for you. So before we dive in, I want you to turn off all distractions and plan on staying until the end. Like I said, I'm going to be sharing a ton of valuable content, and I want you to get the most out of it. It could get a little overwhelming because there's a lot of stuff I want to share, but for those of you who do stay till the end, I have some nice rewards for you. So here we are, a little bit about me. I feel like I've already talked a little bit about myself inside of the group, but for those of you who came late or didn't see my post, I am married to my college sweetheart, and we have 4 boys. They are 7, 9, 12, and 14, and I have my sweet sidekick, Mabel, who usually is right behind me here in my office, but again, I had to kick her out because I didn't want her to be a distraction tonight. We're from upstate New York, and we now live in Charlotte, North Carolina. So in 2005, I joined the online world in search of something more than the soul-sucking cubicle life that I was living. I had a brand new baby boy, and what I found was that I was spending so much time at work, and he would be sleeping in the morning when I left for work, because my husband would get him up and bring him to daycare, and then I would pick him up and come home, and I would have like an hour and a half with him before he went to bed, because babies, 1-year-olds, they go to bed at like 6:30. So it was not the mom life that I had dreamed of. And I became determined to figure out a way that I could stay at home with my son. So in 2005, when he was 6 months old, I started an online boutique for luxury. I sold luxurious little baby products, and the name of my online store was Contempo Top. This was way before Facebook or any social media, so I didn't really have I didn't have a plan as far as how to market my business. All I did was I spent way too much money on a website. I think I paid $3,000 to have this website designed, which I love. I think it's adorable. I still love it, even though it's 14 years old. I still think it's super cute. It totally embodies the vision that I had for this online store. But I ended up with this overpriced website and thousands of dollars in inventory that I had no idea how to get rid of because I had no way of marketing it. So that didn't last too long. All that really came out of that was my kids got a lot of really cute baby products, and my friends received a lot of cute stuff at their baby showers. So then in 2007, baby boy number 2 came along, and that led me to starting a mom blog. And this was my mom blog, Baby Elan Daily. I designed the blog. I taught myself a little bit of HTML and CSS, and I was able to figure my way around a little bit of WordPress with the help. I had a coder who helped me with a little bit of this stuff. But for the most part, this was my vision. Like, I loved creating the graphics for this. I loved the colors. Like, everything was just super fun. And the things that I had a whole team of writers, and we were talking about all different things, mom, baby, kids, that kind of stuff. And this was the result of that. So this I wrote for, I think it was actually longer than 2009. It was probably like 2010 that I finally handed this over to my writing partner and moved on to my next venture, which was product creation. I created this product called Lulla Boards, which was an eco-friendly dry erase board for nannies and caregivers to chart baby's day. So I had my 3rd son at this time, and we had a nanny because I was still working part-time in corporate, and with 3 kids, it was too expensive to send them to daycare. So I had a nanny share. We had a nanny share arrangement with the neighbors. And so I needed a way to find out what they were doing all day without like her constantly just writing it on paper every day. So I created this dry erase board, and I designed the logo and the colors and the patterns and everything in here. So this was a fun little venture. I, again, didn't really sell that many of them because I really wasn't sure what to do as far as marketing went. I did sell a bunch in stores, so that was fun. I got to work with packaging and labels and do all that kind of stuff. So that then led me to getting even more into the crafty side of business and creativity. And I was let go from my part-time corporate job during my maternity leave. So I took full advantage and I launched my Etsy business, which is where I sold over 3,000 products. And I had things like personalized wall art, phone cases. I had these really cute little baby plates that were made to look like your child. So this was so much fun. I loved everything in here. I loved creating. I loved packaging. And I had a pretty successful, by Etsy standards, store for about 3 years. And but at the same time, I was also taking on design clients. And so I was feeling pretty stretched. So in 2014, I burnt out. So on top of that business, I was doing design work and I was working endless hours. I had all 4 boys in tow and my creative brain was on overdrive, and I had to figure out a different way around this whole online business. So this forced me to take a step back and really evaluate what was important to me and my why behind everything. What I discovered was that underneath all of these ventures was that one common theme, and that was branding. And this is when I became completely obsessed with branding and design. I realized that I kept creating all of these businesses, and those 3 were just 3 examples. There was actually like, I think three other brands that I had created on my own, like my own design and business concepts that I came up with over the years. So what happened was I was constantly coming up with new business ideas because I loved the creative process of actually designing the logo, choosing the colors and the textures, and staging and taking the photos for the website or the blog or whatever it was. So that was kind of my light bulb moment, that I'm doing all of these ventures because I loved the branding process. So that's when I pivoted and I closed my Etsy business down, which was one of the hardest things I had to do. I decided to only work on branding and design for my clients rather than continuing to create a whole bunch of new things for my own business and stress myself out. So I taught myself web design skills. I invested in the best business coach I could find. I took courses and I went on a business retreat that changed my life. And I slowly built a thriving, fully booked design business. But again, I was still trading time for dollars, and I wanted to have a greater impact. It was just me. So I was a one-woman show, and I had 4 boys, so there was only so many hours in the day, and I could not have a greater impact just doing it that way. So when I was on that business retreat, I remember telling everyone there that something was still felt off, like there was something more for me than just designing all the time, which was starting to take its toll on me. So they all echoed the same thing. They said, Sarah, you need to teach your skills to other business owners who wanted to go the DIY route. So this way I could help more people in less time and have a greater impact. And I totally had serious imposter syndrome. I was like, me, a teacher, I mean, sure, I can design, but there's no way that I can teach people how to do this stuff. I thought it was just something either you could do it or you couldn't do it. Well, I returned home from that retreat in June of 2016, and I ran the first mood board challenge. And there was about 150 people in there, and it was truly the most fun thing I had ever done in my business. I loved actually teaching other people how to do it, and it confirmed for me what I didn't believe to be true, which was that I was capable of being a mentor to other small business owners. So I ran a few more challenges between 2016 and 2018, and even though I still had no course, nothing to sell them after the challenge ended, I didn't mind, honestly, because I just had so much fun running these challenges. I just kept running challenges and kept doing the design work, and I figured someday I'll figure out what to do beyond these challenges, but at that point in time, I just didn't have anything. So fast forward to a year ago, March 2018, and I discovered the power of memberships by a man named Stu McLaren and his program Tribe. And he's still my mentor today, but he preached, figure out the one thing you want to be known for and turn it into a membership so you can serve more people, have a greater impact, and create recurring revenue. So I was totally hooked. This was it. This was how I could bring my brand mentorship to life. So last June, I launched a branding membership, and everything changed. By focusing on what I wanted to be known for and creating an affordable solution for people to get to know me and experience my expertise, I established a reputable brand that is distinctive, memorable, and referable. I quickly discovered that my members really needed a comprehensive course before the membership, though, because they were coming into the membership and there was so much in there they didn't know what to do. And you really need those core brand elements in your design best practices before you can focus on the rest of branding and implementation. So through my challenges, my membership, and the course that I eventually created, I've now helped over 2,000 women begin their branding journey to create their personal brand that they are proud to share and that lights them up. So the lesson here is that my entire business changed the moment I chose to focus solely on what I wanted to be known for, which was branding, and I stopped trying to do all of the things and be everything to everyone. And I know we talked about this inside the challenge. We talked about it on day one when I said you really want to get clear on your niche. Focus on one thing. You don't want to be everything to everyone because you're not going to be memorable, distinctive, or referable if you're a generalist. You really want to get focused on your one thing and then build your brand around that. So I'm not a design school graduate, I'm not a tech whiz, and I'm not a special unicorn. I just got clear on that one thing and I stayed focused. So trust me, if I can do this, so can you. And even though I may be more experienced than you, I still believe that you can learn how to do this stuff for your brand as well. I want you to keep a couple things in mind as you go through your branding journey, though. Just get out of your own way. just about taking action, just like we did this week in the challenge. Just baby steps. Do one little thing each day. You don't need to have it all figured out right away. If you can just follow step by step, baby steps, you will eventually get there. And I truly believe that successful brands play the long game. This is not something that happens overnight, and I am a living proof of that. I mean, like, it took me 14 years to get to this point. So perfection is your enemy, and no one starts out knowing exactly how to do all of it. So again, I'm proof of that. You play the long game, build up over time, just start moving forward, and don't stay stuck where you are right now just because you're overwhelmed or you're confused. So anyway, that's my story on how I got to where I am right now. And hopefully that gives you an idea of why I'm so passionate about branding and why I really want to help you get to your next level in your branding journey. So there's a couple reasons why you could have showed up here tonight. Aside from just going through the mood board challenge and being excited to learn what's next, maybe you're just frustrated and you're curious about what these 7 core brand elements are. Or you could just be lost. You could be tired of feeling lost and confused about how to get started. Or maybe you were just bored and you wanted to hang out here tonight. So whatever it is, I am glad you are here. And I can tell you without hesitation that once you're clear on what you want to be known for, creating your core brand identity is definitely your next step. It will transform how you look, feel, and act about your business. It will transform the way others view your business, and ultimately that will lead to transforming your life. So now, after all of that, we are going to dive into the 7 core elements of an effective visual brand identity. So here are the 7 core elements. They are in no particular order. Nothing has priority here. Your logo, your colors, your fonts, patterns, icons, textures, and photos. So it's not just about colors and fonts. Everybody that comes to me either wants a logo or they're not sure about picking their colors and their fonts. And I can tell you that it is so much more than that. Just like you had to choose 5 brand tone words that all work together to create that unique feeling, the 7 elements work exactly the same way. You need all 7 elements, or as close to 7 as possible, to get that unique look and feel that is ultimately yours and yours alone. So those elements all work together to create that feeling. Just like the 5 tone words create the feeling of your brand, the 7 elements create the look of your brand. So I just want to show you some examples of this in action so you can get a better understanding of what I'm talking about with these 7 elements. So this is a brand that I designed for a local spa franchise. And just by looking at these pictures, these are photos that are on their website. So we don't know the name of the business yet. You're just looking at the pictures here, and we see a lot of things. Like you can see inside of the spa, you can see a lot of metallic gold. So there is a texture that's metallic gold. You can see it on the desk, on the tables, on the light fixtures, on the frames, on the mirror. All of that metallic gold is in there. We also see some patterns on the walls. So you can see kind of like those frame white molding patterns on the walls. And then if you look down below, we see photos. So these photos were intentionally selected for this brand. And if you notice all the photos, it's just skin. You only see their skin. There's no distraction. They all have a very clean, solid gray background. The colors in the brand are all very clean, different shades of pink and gray with the gray backgrounds, the skin tones, and you can see the gold around the buttons for each of the options on their website. Then you scroll down a little bit further and you see the icons. So these are not their logo, but they do have these custom icons which represent the brand. So it's not just, I mean, think of how different it would look if the icons weren't there and it was just the names of the services. So those icons bring that extra special touch, and you know right away that that this belongs to this specific spa, this local spa. And then if you scroll down a little further on their website where it says We're Social, you've got the social icons also with that metallic gold that picks up the texture of the brand. And you see the background has those like, I don't know what they're called, but those circles and rectangle shapes. And those are picked up in the molding on the wall inside of the spa. Scrolling a little further, you can see the inside of the spa. So you can see the inside of the lash room has that pattern on the wall more gold frames, more icons, more photos of women, just close-ups of women with a gray background. You can see the gold mirror. You can see like everything, how it ties together. So can you imagine if there were no patterns or textures, or the photos didn't all match, how generic this brand would feel if it was just pink and gray and it just had a logo and colors and fonts? Like, it just would look like every other spa out there. So these special touches are truly what helps it stand apart. And I mean, we haven't even seen the logo yet. And so here's the logo. It's super simple, but again, it has that metallic effect in it. And it just truly, everything comes together. All 7 elements are brought together to create this brand that has now become recognizable and has a beautiful social media feed. The inside of their spas are beautiful, and people know exactly what to expect when they go into an Idolized spa, because they're used to seeing consistency and professionalism across the board on the website, on social media, inside the spa. Everything has that very cohesive look and feel, and they all include all 7 of those elements. So here is another one that I worked on, completely opposite. So you may have seen this one inside of the Mood Board Challenge group. This is a mood board that I did a while ago for a client, and then I designed her brand. Now, she doesn't have all 7 elements, but what she does have is that pattern and texture, which really make her brand stand out. She also has photos that were well planned. So her pictures were planned around her mood board. You can see, you know, she's got a lot of nature. The reflection of the sun coming through from her mood board is in her photos. You can see in her sunglasses, you can see the sun setting over the water, which you can see in her mood board. And then we've just pulled in the gradient that we've incorporated throughout her site. So if you think about how this site would look if we were only focused on the logo and the colors and the fonts, it wouldn't really have that same striking wow factor that it has when we've incorporated these this orange and red gradient, and then this like sunset or sun rising, I'm not sure what it is, but this sky picture. And if you scroll through her entire website, you'll see this repeated over and over again. And it really has just a really powerful effect. And she's got this on her social media, her published book. She has it kind of throughout everything. And so when you see it, you immediately know that it belongs to her, and it becomes memorable and unique and distinctive. Here's another one that has a lot of patterns in it. It has, so we've got the circles. This is another one I created. She's got this circle pattern. She has like this pink watercolor background pattern. She has a lot of icons that have the little circles with the rose gold in them. We have photos that all kind of match the colors of the patterns, and everything just feels very cohesive here. And she also has these icons that we created to go on her this introverted impact model. And you can see like the background has the rose gold in it, and it has the dots in it, and everything just really works together. So imagine if this was just pink and blue with fonts and the logo, and look at how much more distinctive it looks because there are these extra special elements in here. And taking it even further, she has photos. We're using stock photos for some of her branding, but even the photos have that light, creamy pink color effect that is carried throughout her entire brand. So you can see in this one how we're using photos, patterns, textures, icons, the logo, the colors, and the fonts. Like all 7 elements are in this brand, and it truly stands out. When you see anything of hers online, you know that it belongs to Casey's brand, The Quiet Collective. Here is the 4th one. I think this is the last one I'm going to share with you. But this is the 4th one, Sarah Wiles. And I didn't even design her logo, but I did redesign her website and help her upgrade her branding a little bit before we redesigned the website. So I helped her choose her colors and her fonts, of course. We kept the logo that she already had, but then we took it a step further and created icons to match her brand, and we peppered those icons throughout her website. So you can see these are bits and pieces of her website and her blog posts, and you can see the icons kind of carried throughout. And then we took it one step further and we used the icons down here in the lower right to create almost like a pattern, like a background pattern that you can see throughout her site in various sections of her website. So anytime you see anything like on Instagram or Pinterest that's from Sarah Wiles, like you immediately know it's hers because it has these fun icons. I mean, she's not using any fancy fonts. These are fonts that a lot of people actually use. Her script font is a little bit more unique, but like her regular fonts are very standard fonts that a lot of people are actually using, but she's set herself apart by having the unique icons and also having photos that really pick up the quirkiness and the fun factor that kind of ties the whole brand together. So if you were to go to her site, I only have a couple of photos here, but there are a ton of pictures throughout her site that are from this same photo shoot. They're just a lot of fun and quirky and just really fun and cute, and really creates that whole brand feel. So how do you put all of this stuff together? So you've got all of these different elements, and there are various places you can find the elements. You can create the elements. I mean, you can create your logo, choose your colors, choose your fonts, and then as far as icons go, you can either buy icons, you can create icons. Same thing with patterns. You can create them, you can buy them, you can recolor them. Photos, you can use stock photos or you can use your own photos. There's so many places to gather all of these design elements, but then once you get them, you want to put them into a brand style guide. And that is your official brand blueprint, which outlines all of the main visuals of your brand so that you can confidently stay on track with everything you design, and therefore creating a cohesive, consistent look and a memorable and recognizable brand. And these are 2 examples of some simple brand style guides. Now, these do not have all 7 elements, but they both have quite a few. They have more than just the logo and the colors and the fonts. So these have patterns in them, textures. The Mothering Arts one has the gradient texture, and then it has like the pastel fern patterns. Those can be used on things such on the website, like backgrounds on the website. Also, like on social media, on Instagram, you can use your patterns here, like behind a quote or something. And once you start using those same patterns over and over and over again, interspersed with on-brand photos and other on-brand content, then you start to see consistency, and you start to see it starts to feel very congruent across all mediums. So that's the Mothering Arts one. And then same thing with Speech Spark. She's got these 2 fun patterns, the orange and the green. We used the actual little spark that's at the end of where you see the 3 speech sparks in the different colors. There's a spark there at the end, and we've used that throughout her website. And her photos are very on brand. Like you can see that middle picture, it like matches her logo perfectly, but it really ties it all in together. And these are just stock images that we found online. There's more than just these 3. I think there's about 10 of them that we found and that we use throughout the website, and it really ties everything in together nicely. So why exactly do you need that brand style guide? I mean, truly, like you could put everything in your Canva account and just keep it in there and dig around for it every time you need something. But in all honesty, if you can put everything into a brand style guide, then it's so much easier for you to share your design assets with your web designer or an assistant or an intern, or even for yourself, just to keep yourself on track. So you always know exactly what you need to be working with, and you pull from that brand style guide every time you're creating visual content, whether that's social media graphics, emails, blogs, whatever it is. You pull from the same set of 7 core design elements, and that is what's going to create that consistent, cohesive branding, and that's what's going to build trust with your audience. So yeah, you're going to collect all 7 items, and then you are going to put them in your brand style guide. You can print it out and put it in front of you on a bulletin board, or just keep it in your Canva account so it's ready for you every time you log in. And if you don't believe me about this, I want you to just see, these are all different things that you can create. And most of these are things you can create inside of Canva. Branded items, once you have those 7 core elements, there's a whole list. There's so much more stuff and different types of collateral and social media, all these things that you'll be able to create once you have that brand style guide with the 7 core elements. If you only have your logo and your colors and your fonts, it's going to get kind of boring. Like, that's why you're spinning your wheels, because you don't have the other stuff, and you really need all of the things to create that cohesive feel that actually is exciting and stands out and doesn't feel quite so dull and boring. Okay, so let's just recap what we just talked about. So the 7 core elements: logo, colors, typography, patterns, icons, textures, and photos. Again, you don't need all 7, but you do need more than 3, and I highly recommend at least having 5 or 6 of them. If you can get all 7, that's amazing. But I understand, and as you've seen in the past brands that I created, we don't always use all 7. But when you can get them all, that would be amazing. So you need them in order to set your brand apart visually. You need more than just colors and fonts. So again, combining as many as the 7 elements as possible will allow you to create a truly one-of-a-kind visual brand. So I believe that you're here, you came here after the Mood Board Challenge, and you stayed on this call until now because I truly believe that you have what it takes to create your own creative brand. And this is something that I want to help you with. This is what I love to do. I've loved doing it for my own brand for the past 14 years. I've loved helping my clients do it, and I want to help you keep going with your brand. Now that you have your mood board, you've got to keep moving forward. Like I said, taking baby steps and getting past your feeling of stuck and overwhelmed when it comes to your brand. So just so you know, nothing that I've shared with you is theory or fluff or things that might work. This is exactly what I've done for my own business. It's how I've been able to build trust, connection, and confidence with my audience. And it's also how I've already helped so many creative business owners just like you create their own personal brand. So even if you think that you're not tech savvy, you're not creative, or you're not talented enough to do this, I can promise you that by following my lessons, you can create your own brand. When you have your own set of core brand design elements, you will be able to take that fully fledged out vision for your brand, and you'll be able to bring it to life confidently. You'll be able to easily create graphics that are always on brand, compelling, consistent, and cohesive. And you are going to save tons of time and money by being able to create all of your graphics as you need them. So you're no longer going to feel like your brand and your marketing efforts are a complete amateur disaster. And I've heard that from so many people. You know how you have to answer those questions when you come into my Mood Board Challenge pop-up group? I think one question is, what are you feeling the most stuck with? Everybody just feels like it's a hot mess and they just are stuck and don't know where to get started. So this is where you start. You get these core brand design elements, and then you will be able to save all this time and get out of your own way. So the obvious question is, I know you're all wondering, how can you learn how to create your own creative brand identity? So you can do it the slow way through trial and error, and by taking what I've taught you this past week in the Mood Board Challenge and taking what I've given you here tonight about the 7 core elements, and you can do it yourself. You absolutely can do it yourself. But it's going to take you a while. Or so you could do it quickly and confidently with my support, my guidance, and my accountability along the way, using the lessons that I teach inside of my course, Simple Brand Academy. So what is Simple Brand Academy? It is an 8-week course, and it's a group program. So it started out as just a course, but we added the group coaching program to it because I don't believe you can just go through this on your own without feedback from a designer. So this is based on my 4-part framework, which was created to teach you exactly how to design your own brand using my easy-to-follow step-by-step videos and lessons. There's over 30 lessons inside of Simple Brand Academy, and most of the lessons are all video, and you can see here in this image, these are all videos that show you exactly how to do all of these things, like getting brand clarity and then doing your core design elements and so much more. I'm going to walk you through a little bit more of the course. So whether you are just starting out or rebranding an existing business, Simple Brand Academy will teach you exactly how to get clear once and for all on what you want to be known for, and design a custom logo, choose your colors and fonts, create or find your perfect design elements such as patterns, textures, icons, and photos, create gorgeous professional looking graphics that truly represent you and your brand. So this goes even further than just those core design elements. There's a whole module of me teaching you how to create the actual graphics that you need to market your business. And so finally, in the last module, getting started with building your own WordPress website. So just imagine knowing exactly how to use the tools that you thought were only for professionals, having absolute clarity and confidence in your messaging and what you stand for, understanding design best practices and knowing how and when to use them to create attractive graphics, and having a website that showcases your brilliance, captivates your audience, and converts them into buyers. So I've developed this success path, which I call the Simple Brand Success. It's a branding journey, and I just want you to take a look at it for a moment and think about where you are on this path. Stage 1 is confusion. Stage 2 is clarity. Stage 3, creation. Stage 4, connection. Stage 5, confidence, clients, and cash. And I'm just going to zoom in a little so you can see them more clearly. Here's stage 1 and stage 2. So many of you probably came into the mood board challenge feeling overwhelmed and unsure how or even where to begin. You were stuck in analysis paralysis. You had all these ideas, but you had no idea how to create that bigger vision. And maybe you lacked confidence in your ability to even be able to do this. Hopefully I've gotten you past that by now. And maybe you're in stage 2 right now, which is you're figuring out what you want to be known for, and you're understanding what it means to niche down and why it's important. You've created your mood board and you've begun to see the big picture, and you now have a vision for the future of your brand. And you're realizing that you are capable of creating your own brand. If you got through that mood board challenge, that was a hard week. So if you got through that, then I guarantee that you're capable of creating your own branding. In stage 3, which is where I take my students inside a Simple Brand Academy, stage 3 and stage 4. You decide how you want to be seen, felt, and heard, and you have a plan to create your vision. You learn how to effectively use online tools and resources to create your brand identity. You learn how to write captivating and compelling on-brand copy that positions you as an expert, and you increase your confidence as you begin to develop your online presence and visibility. Then in stage 4, you've learned how to do this stuff, and you're using your distinct brand identity to finally connect with your ideal audience. You are impressing your audience and your potential clients with an on-brand user experience. So they come to your website, everything is on brand, they want to work with you. The whole onboarding, everything is just perfectly synchronized, and it's an on-brand experience that really gives your audience, like, they know what to expect from you just by your branding and the experience that you've created. So you begin to establish a strong know, like, and trust factor through the use of your brand voice, cohesive collateral, and your captivating online presence. This is when you start to generate a steady stream of client inquiries. And lastly, in stage 5, this is the big one. This is your confidence, clients, and cash. So this is when you might not need me anymore. This is when you've got everything mastered, you're easily remembered, referred to, and you're distinctive in your niche. You're often asked for advice because your brand is so recognizable and impressive. You have a steady stream of clients and a steady stream of cash, and you're scaling your business, up-leveling, and at this point, you might be ready for a professional expert status rebrand. So I want you to think about all of those stages and where you are. If you are anywhere in stage 1, stage 2, or stage 3, then I think that this Simple Brand Academy is exactly what you need next, because you need the tools to create that brand, to step into your confidence, and to be able to start connecting with your audience. So over the course of the next 8 weeks, this course starts next week, this is what you're going to get. In Module 1, we clarify your brand message. What makes you different? Who do you serve? Why should they listen to you? And really, ultimately, what do you want to be known for? In Module 2, we go over all of these 7 core design elements. So this is where you learn how to design your custom logo with tons of videos that you can watch, and you can see me designing logos. And this is all stuff you can do. You don't need anything fancy to do it. You don't need designer software. You can do this online. choosing your colors and fonts, gathering the rest of your design elements, and creating your brand style guide. And then in Module 3, I teach you professional design best practices, and you can watch me create lead magnets, social media graphics, print collateral, ebooks, lifestyle mock-ups, and learn all of my tricks and how I get things to look the way I do. I've got a huge whole bag of tricks that I kind of teach throughout the course in all of these different videos. And then in Module 4, lastly, this is an introduction to WordPress. You're going to learn how to set up your website and connect all the tech. This is your domain, your web host, all of those things that might be kind of scary to you. I'm going to walk you through that in step-by-step videos. And then you're also going to see me designing actual website pages and setting it all up. So then there's also these awesome bonuses inside the course, which, like I said, coaching and community. So coaching and community are a huge part of the course. And most of my former students will tell you that this was like, aside from the lessons, they loved having me inside of the community. And we have weekly Q&A calls. So there's a private Facebook group just for students where you can ask anything you want, and it's just our private group. I'm in there, myself and my team are in there every day answering questions, giving feedback, helping you through this whole process. If you've got things you're creating and you're not quite sure, you post it in the group and you get the feedback right away. There's also weekly recorded Q&A calls, and there are tons of valuable questions. Oftentimes you will find me in those calls just jumping right into Canva, and you guys watching me inside of Canva doing something based on somebody's question. So there's a ton of community and coaching, all of that involved. Also, templates and guides. If you would rather just copy my designs and customize them for your own brand, you've got that in there. There's templates for a lot of these different graphics, and you will have plenty of access to templates throughout the course. There's also a color palette guide and a font pairing guide. So if color or fonts overwhelm you and you don't want to have to choose like which one you want, I've already done the hard work and picked a ton of palettes based on brand, tone words, and also there's a whole bunch of font pairings in there based on font personality. So that is also inside of the course. And lastly, in Module 4, you're going to get my website workbook, which is a living and breathing tool that I've been using for years with my website clients. And this is a downloadable or editable file, which will help you map out your entire website. I'll guide you step by step through all of the things that you need to consider along the way, including your website goals, your lead magnet, how you want to start getting emails, social media connection, SEO, and there's so much more inside of that website workbook. You're going to walk away from this course with complete confidence in a brand that you're proud of. And this is an example of one of my former students, Nicole. And these are like all of the things that she was able to create inside a Simple Brand Academy. And if you look at her testimonial, you might be able to identify with some of what she's saying. When I became an entrepreneur, I knew that building a solid brand was something I needed, but I had no idea where to start. So enter Simple Brand Academy. If a few months ago you would have asked me if I could purposefully choose my brand colors, fonts, design my own logo, and be designing my own website, I would have laughed at you. Sarah has given me the confidence to follow the vision I have for my brand while also giving her graphic designer eye and insight to my vision for a fraction of the cost I would have otherwise paid. I would recommend Simple Brand Academy to any entrepreneur who wants to build their brand no matter where they are in the process. So that I want that for you as well. I want you to feel like you can get in there and you can definitely do it too. So I know you're wondering, how much is it going to cost? That's the ultimate question, right? So you could hire a designer to do this for you. But honestly, a quality designer is going to charge you thousands of dollars to do everything that you're going to get inside this course. I have a done-for-you VIP book me for a day program. It's the only way I work with my clients now is in one-day intensives, and that's $14.97 for the day. But quite honestly, you would have to book me for 2 or 3 days in order to get all the things that you're going to be able to create with this course. So putting dollars aside, I also want you to think about how much time you're going to spend if you try and master this yourself. How many hours are you going to spend researching and watching YouTube videos and all of those things, just trying to figure this stuff out on your own? My coaches and my mentors and former students have all told me that I'm not charging enough for this course. They said that it's worth double what I charge. And honestly, I did consider raising the price to $9.97. If that's what everybody said it's worth, then why wouldn't I raise that price? But here's the truth. I want gorgeous branding to be accessible to everyone. I don't want it to just be for people who have $1,000 burning a hole in their pocket. I want it to be accessible to the DIYer. And the reason you're a DIYer is because you don't have all this money to spend on a designer. So I'm not going to charge you $9.97 for the course. The cost for Simple Brand Academy, which includes 8 weeks of group coaching, over 30 video lessons, bonus templates, color and font guides, a private community, and ongoing accountability, is one payment of $497 or 2 payments of $279. So that's what I decided for the price of the course. But I have a special surprise for you. Because I told you if you would stay till the end, I had something special for you. I want to sweeten the offer. So I'm offering $100 off the course for 24 hours, basically a little more than 24 hours, until midnight tomorrow, April 8th, or 11:59 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow night. All you need to do is enter the code LUCKY100 and it automatically takes $100 off of the total course, bringing it down to $397. And also, the first 10 people who join the course are going to get a one-on-one brand review call with me. So I want to be able to give you feedback directly, one-on-one, tell you, what I think of what you're doing so far and how you can improve. And I'm going to offer that. I wish I could offer it to everybody, but honestly, I can't. I don't have that much time. So I'm offering it to the first 10 people who join the course. I also do have a 100% satisfaction guarantee. So my number one goal is for you to design a brand that you love. And therefore, if you join the course and you complete all of the lessons and worksheets and you're still not happy with your branding, I will happily refund your purchase. So really have nothing to lose. You can join, sign up, and if you don't love it, then you can request a refund. So these are some other stories I'm not going to read through all of them, but if you want to take a minute and look through them, these are stories from my other students. I love this one from Alyssa. SBA is like the marketing education that I wish I had from the beginning. I'm so much more confident in how to put branding elements together and create my online presence so that it truly communicates the heart of my business to my audience. Sarah is a branding fairy godmother, and my business is so lucky to have her. So when I read that, I was like so happy that she wrote that. But that's truly, I want to be everybody's branding fairy godmother. I wish I could help everybody. And so I'm very grateful that I have this opportunity through this course to help as many people as possible. Okay, so I'm just going to recap here everything that I just went over inside of Simple Brand Academy. So there's 4 modules over 8 weeks. So you get module 1 for a week, and then you get an implementation week. Then module 2, then an implementation week. So you're never going to feel rushed, like you've got to get all this stuff done right away and you can't keep up. I truly have built in lots of extra time for you to get through these modules because I know what life is like, and I know that life gets in the way. And I don't want anybody to feel like they can't finish and then give up. So I have purposely made this a little bit longer than what it probably needs to be, but that's so that everybody has opportunity to get through all the work, get your questions answered, and truly create a brand that you are so excited and so proud of. So you're going to get those 4 modules. You're going to get coaching and community, templates and guides, a website, workbook, and in the next 24 hours, you get $100 off with the code LUCKY100, and the first 10 people that join get a one-on-one brand review call with me. So registration is officially open. Again, it's 1 payment of $397 if you join before midnight tomorrow, or 2 payments of $279. So it will be like 1 payment now, and then a month later. So like exactly a month later, the second payment would come out. And if you are ready to join us, you can go to simplebrandacademy.com and click on the Join Now button. But I do know that there might be some questions. It's 8:55 right now here, and I want to give everybody a chance to ask any questions that you have for me. There are a lot of Q&As right on the Simple Brand Academy website. If you're wondering, I don't know, there's a whole bunch of Q&As on there, but I'm just gonna look through. If you have any questions, you can put them in the chat window. I think I saw, let me minimize this Q&A. Okay, so I'm looking at the chat window. Marinka Heinrich, I'm sorry if I'm not saying your name right. How far in the development of your business should you have this brand style guide? I'm sure that while you develop your business, your ideal brand may change. So what is the best time to start? So, I mean, I think once you're clear on what you want to be known for, that's why we go through the whole clarity section first. And that really gets you going on what you want to be known for. And then once you've got that, the brand style guide should be your next step, because you want to start putting social media graphics out there and emails and I don't know, however you want to market your business. You want to have those graphics kind of in place so that you can start creating that consistent and cohesive look and feel. Because the sooner you can do that, that's the sooner you're going to build trust with your audience. And quite honestly, it totally can change. Like, you can start with a brand style guide doing it one way, and then 6 months down the road, you might have a completely different idea of what you want your brand to look like, and that's totally fine. My brand has evolved. I mean, I can't even tell you how many times my brand has evolved over the years, but as long as you are clear on what it needs to, like, as long as you do it in a nice, clean way, transitioning from one look to another, then that's not an issue. But when you start putting things out there that look different every single time you're posting, that's when people are going to get confused, and they're not going to really, they're not going to think you're a professional, and they're not going to remember you because they're seeing different things all the time. So I hope that helps answer your question. Merritt said, is WordPress your preferred website platform? Actually, I use WordPress for my website, but because I've been doing this for so long, I also use Squarespace. I've designed probably 50% of my clients are on Squarespace, WordPress. I've done Kajabi sites. I've done Weebly. I've done Shopify. I have done a ton of sites. So I do love WordPress because of the functionality. From Kelly, is the style guide a folder on your desktop with different files, or is it like an ebook? It can be anything. So you can create it inside of Canva, and then you can download it as a PDF and put it in a file folder. You could print it out and put it on your wall. I mean, your style guide is a printed, it's like a document that shows what everything looks like. Then you could, of course, have folders. Like, a lot of people just keep their Canva folders and put their patterns in there and their textures and their icons, and all of those things go right inside their Canva account. Or you could put them in Google Drive or right on your computer, wherever. Okay, Lisa. Oh, wait. Ray, I don't know if it's Ray or Ray. Will we get footnotes and slides from today's? I wasn't going to send the footnotes and slides, but I am going to be sending out a replay of the webinar, so you will get that. So now I don't plan to send the slides out just because I don't know. I don't think, I feel like you can get everything going through the webinar. Hopefully, if there's a reason that you need the slides, just reach out and let me know. I can figure that out. But I hadn't planned on sending out the slides. Okay, Lisa, these are great. I'm so confused with even getting a name that will capture what I want. I feel like that is definitely before the branding. And a lot of my clients struggle with that as well. And that's something that I can help you with inside of the Facebook group. For the last round, we were going to do a special naming your business bonus, and never got around to it because everybody that was in the last round already had their name. But if this is something that you need, and if this is something that a lot of people need, then we can absolutely do like a whole session on naming your business, because that's really fun for me and something that I would love to help you with. Linda said, is the $100 off only if you pay the full amount? Yes. So yeah, you can get the $100 off on the full price, or you can do the payment plan. So the $100 is the better deal, much better deal. But if it's easier to do the $279, then that one does not have the discount. Let me see. I think that is Oh, Paula said, could you email me the quote from Stu? Yes, I can email you the quote. That, what I wrote, is not a direct quote, but that's just basically what he preaches throughout all of his, everything that he does. So yeah, I'll try to find that and I'll send that to you. So Rhonda wants to know, how soon does the course officially begin? So the cart, that's a great question. The cart is open from now until Thursday night at midnight. On Friday, we will have our first live meet and greet call, which will be recorded. And the reason for that is because I am going out of town on Saturday, and I'm going to be gone that following week. I'll be out of town, so I won't be able to do a live call. But you will get Module 1 delivered on Monday, April 15th. So even though I won't be at home working, from my office, I will be out of town and I'll have email access, but I won't have all of the stuff here to do calls that week. So we're going to do the first call on Friday, the 12th, and then you'll get Module 1 on Monday, the 15th, and then I'll be inside of the Facebook group for questions throughout the week, and then we won't have our next Q&A call, though, until the week of the 22nd. But again, any questions that you have will be answered. It just won't be on a live call until the following week. Oh, Nora, you can't hear me. Can anybody else hear? Can everybody else hear me? Type yes if you can hear me. Yes. Okay, Nora, I'm not sure. Might be your speakers. I don't know. Hopefully maybe you can listen, maybe the replay, this is being recorded with sound. So maybe you'll be able to get on the replay and hopefully hear me that way, maybe through your phone or computer or whatever you're not on right now. Maybe try a different device. Okay, thank you guys. Everybody, thank you. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. And see if there's any other questions. Does anybody have any other questions for me? Your volume is high and it's not on mute. I'm not sure. Have you not been able to hear any of the webinar? Did you hear me at first? I don't know. Okay, well, if you have any questions, Nora, we can chat about it. You can feel free to send me a PM, and actually you probably can't hear me talking, but let me just type. Okay, hopefully she sees that. Okay, so I actually just saw my husband and my kids just pulled in the driveway and they did a great job. They're very quiet. So I'm so glad that they didn't come barging in here right now. If anybody has any questions for me, again, I will be inside of the pop-up group all week. Keep going with your mood boards. Like I said, if you haven't finished, we'll be in there all week. And I want to see everybody at least finish your mood boards because it's so empowering once you have that done to be able to move on and move to the next stage of your branding journey. So if you haven't finished your mood board, don't feel like you're behind. There are a ton of people that haven't finished yet. So just keep going with that. I'll be in there all week giving you feedback, answering questions, anything you need in there. And Simple Brand Academy is now open and will be open until Thursday night at midnight. The $100 off expires tomorrow night at midnight Eastern time. So if you're ready to get started and you know you want this, then I would highly recommend grabbing it now. And also the first 10 people will be getting this one-on-one brand review call with me, which I cannot wait to do with whoever those first 10 people are. And again, the doors close on Thursday and we get started on Friday. So with that, I think if there are no other questions, I don't think I see any other questions. I am going to go ahead and end the class. And again, reach out to me. Feel free to PM me. If you want to friend me on Facebook, I'm totally fine with that. You happily just friend me, send me a message, whatever you've got, any questions. And you will get an email with this recording, this replay, and everything. So you can always reply to email as well. So thank you guys so much for being here. I hope this was helpful. I hope you know where you need to go next with your branding. Even if you don't join Simple Brand Academy, I want you to focus on getting clarity on your brand and what you want to be known for, and then go right into your core 7 core design elements and get started putting all of that together, because once you have that together, everything else just becomes so much easier. So thank you guys. Have a great night, and I will talk to you all in the group.